Today I have a beach day menu with some beach food ideas for you guys. I'm hoping to get some frozen yogurt treats, a Balkan cucumber salad. I'm going to make a marinated pineapple chicken kebab. I'm going to make a yogurt herby cheese dip, and it's to go with some lime tortilla chips. We're also going to have the regular things that we normally bring, pickles. For some reason we like pickles at the beach. I'm thinking to add some huckleberries, some frozen huckleberries to something, but I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that yet. I've already made my special potato salad. I'm not going to show the recipe, but if you want to see my potato salad trick, watch my 4th of July menu plan video. It's the weekend and I promised the kids a trip to the beach. For those new here, we have a large home educating family of 8 on a homestead, and we grow and raise a large portion of our food. I'm going to start with a Balkan cucumber salad. This first recipe comes from the Moosewood cookbook. It's one of my favorite books for salad recipes. This is actually my 2nd copy of the book because the first one wore out and got damaged by food and water spills. I ended up tossing it, but I missed it so much that I bought this one recently. I'm gonna do it a little bit differently. I've made this before. I've got mint for it. It calls for mint. My family was not crazy about the mint in this though, and so I'm actually going to use dill. Another thing that I'm going to do differently is I'm not going to slice the cucumbers. I think it'll be harder to eat sliced cucumber salad at the beach. I don't know why. This is probably just me thinking that, but I'm actually going to dice it so it's easier to dig into with this spoon. My husband is out working today on our goat pen, so that's what that saw is. If it's not a rooster, it's my husband's saw.
I have just one onion. It is a sweet onion, and I'm mincing it up super fine so that the younger kids don't find it. As long as I don't recognize it's there, we should be good. The recipe does not call for a red bell pepper, but I thought that the red bell pepper would add some pretty color, and I happen to have this, so I decided why not? Earlier I went down to the garden and I harvested some dill for this salad. The dill is volunteer, so it's already quite high. Speaking of the gardens, I don't feel like they're doing that great. We just had a really weird spring where it was really hot one day and then would have a cold spell for days and then another hot day. So I do feel it's a little behind. Hopefully it snaps out of it soon. A little gardening secret: if you find volunteer herbs or tomatoes or other vegetables, it's a good idea to leave them if you can. Chances are they'll be your most hardy plants of the year, and they usually produce an earlier harvest.
Kids ended up working so fast this week that they got all of their chores done, and they don't have really very many at all Saturday chores, so they got everything done. I told them they could watch a movie right now. That's why it's so quiet right now. I am seriously excited for tonight and tomorrow and the weekend. It's gonna be a blast. So I have some yogurt I am straining over here. I don't think you can see it. This yogurt is homemade yogurt. I have been straining it just to thicken it up a little bit. This ladle is I believe it's an 8-ounce ladle. This isn't gonna work. It's a disaster about to happen there. Okay, so we've got an 8-ounce ladle, and I'm gonna do 2 of these. So this is 2 cups of yogurt, and then I'm gonna put some salt in here. I'm gonna go with about, not quite that much, about a teaspoon of salt, but I might need more. And now I'm gonna put the garlic down in there. Just dump it all in there. Okay, we're arm work out here. This smells good. This looks good. Now for my favorite part. This is the bomb, you guys. This is good. Ooh, got a piece of that garlic. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Don't eat this right after you make it. let it marinate for at least a couple hours. It says cover and refrigerate until serving time. I would definitely say make sure you have let this marinate so the garlic has had some time to kind of like melt into the rest of the salad, because right now that garlic is, I did put a lot in there. We do like a lot of garlic, but the garlic is like kind of like it might give you a gut ache. Make this gut ache salad, you guys. No, seriously, garlic can give you a gut ache if you eat too much like fresh garlic straight. It will give you a gut ache, but I think if this marinates, it will not give us a gut ache. I'll keep you posted on that. I haven't been real with you guys. I've had this channel that I've been working for, gosh, since I started in 2017, but I didn't start seriously until about 2019. I did start growing until about a year ago. So I've had this channel all that time. I haven't been entirely honest with you guys. When I am around my family and my friends, I can be kind of a nut job, and then at times I can also be quirky. I guess you would say quirky. It's been very difficult to hide that quirkiness from you, and I think I've done a pretty good job hiding it from you, but then I realized I was not being entirely honest. So I can't hold the quirky in anymore, and I just hope you all still love me. My kids think I am the funniest person alive. Actually, they don't really think that, but they do think I'm kind of funny sometimes. This week, our garden was extremely weedy. I knew that it would probably take 30 minutes to an hour of weeding each morning to get it, under wraps if we work together as a team. But it's not always easy getting your kids, on the same team. So I learned a little trick from my therapist years ago. Essentially, it's make trade. So I basically just told the kids, hey, you guys help me get this garden under wraps this week, and I will have time this weekend to take you to the beach. And I will even have extra time to make a whole bunch of special food. I have never seen a garden get weeded so fast. Now, we always bring snacks to the beach. We bring things like chips, salsa, pickles, chicken if we have leftover chicken, but I wanted to do something extra special for them today. I mean, what they did means a lot to me, and so I need to make sure I do something for them that really rewards them and lets them know how much I appreciate them. My kids really surprised me. I didn't realize that they could work as fast as they could. I mean, I know that when they all pull together, they can make a job that would normally be an hour, like a 5-minute job. When my kids were all little, they like, things like store-bought bread more, and they like things like the sweets and graham crackers. But I never gave up trying to feed them healthy and cook healthy. And now there's very few things that they like store-bought versus homemade. So their taste buds matured, and now they tell me, Mom, yours is so much better. Next up, I have got some cheese I made here, and this is kind of like cream cheese, I guess you could say. You could do this with cream cheese if you do not have like cows or goats. I made this with my goat's milk. You could make it with Greek yogurt. You could make it with Greek yogurt and cream cheese. You could make it with just cream cheese. So essentially what I'm going to do is I am just going to add dill. I'm going to add some dried onion and a little bit of garlic in here. Essentially what I'm making here is just a dip. It's gonna be a dip for the chips. It's gonna be good with tortilla chips or potato chips. I am gonna put just a tiny bit of minced up fresh onion in here, but I'm gonna mince it super fine because the younger kids are not gonna like big onion chunks in there. Also just gonna put some shavings, like finely diced red bell pepper in here for color. Teaspoon of salt in there, and I'm gonna go blend it in the KitchenAid. This turned out really good, really refreshing. Something I've learned about taking food to the beach, it's really wise to put individual servings in their own containers and to not put too much in. This will be barely enough for one person. It will be enough for one person with all the other food we have. You put it in individual because it's inevitable that there will be sand flying, especially when there's 6 kids running around. If you dish things up in smaller containers like this, you won't have a whole dish of something that's wasted if there happens to be some renegade sand flying. Some serving ideas for this would be crackers. You could even serve it on bread. This would be really good on like fresh bread or toast.
Scene, I'm making frozen yogurt treats. I have some yogurt that's been straining for a couple hours, so it's a little bit thicker. I decided this is what I'm going to add the huckleberries to. So I'm going to do a huckleberry cinnamon frozen yogurt treat. My kids absolutely love my homemade frozen yogurt, and they think it's better than ice cream. I've got my ice cream maker here. I got my yogurt mixing. I mixed in cinnamon and sugar to taste. You could use honey.
What's open first at the beach tomorrow?
Shish kebabs.
Shish kebabs. No, you guys need to eat these first because they're gonna melt the first. I need a funnel.
These kebabs ended up being a major hit. I didn't measure anything for this marinade, but as you can see, I put in about 2 tablespoons of oil. I think it's about a half a cup of honey, maybe 2-3 tablespoons of coconut aminos, and a few shakes of sesame oil. I'm sprinkling in probably about 1/4 teaspoon of Chinese 5 spice. And don't ask me why. I didn't put garlic in here. The only reason why is because I forgot. I cut the chicken strips super thin, and I'm just putting them in a jar here to marinate. This is all being done about a day in advance. We're definitely going to be having these again, but next time I will remember the garlic. I'm going to be cooking these, of course, on kebab sticks, but I'm going to take them off before we go to the beach.
I'm gonna take them off the sticks. For some reason, I don't think 6 kids running around a beach with these things sounds like a very good idea. So I'm gonna just barbecue them on the sticks to get that nice barbecue flavor, and then I'm going to take them off. Right now. Yes, perfect.
We were made for each other to hold on to. I was carved out of redwood beneath your moon. I was birthed in the mountains under the sun. Something's changed, you can't see my face in the crowd no more. Something's changed, you can't see my face in the crowd. We are living the dream together out here on the road, and our love takes center stage.
Uva ursi, Achilia milfolia, also known as yarrow. And somewhere back here I saw some wild roses. There they are.
I have been coming to this place, not this exact beach, less than a mile that way. Since my family moved over here when I was a small child, we moved from the big city about 15 minutes from here. Way up on top of a mountain is where they moved to, and we were off grid. Those are some of the best years of my childhood. After I met my husband, he and I lived in the Midwest for about 14 or 15 years. I had been raised here, and moving away from here was not easy. I was never very happy in the Midwest. It never really felt like home to me. Probably after about 6 years it did, but then not like here. And when my husband and I moved our family back to this area, it was a very stressful move, and I didn't handle it well at all. I didn't trust God very well throughout the whole process, which is funny because everything leading up to it just lined out perfectly. And as soon as we signed the papers and actually had to start moving, it became very, very stressful. When the whole process of moving started, we were pregnant with our 6th child. When we sold our home, it was about a week or two after I had our 6th. And so I was moving with a newborn. If you've ever moved with a newborn, you know, but I also had, 5 other kids in addition to the newborn. So it was a nightmare. And I kind of started losing faith through it because it was so hard. We came back here. We bought a home sight unseen, but for the first month, we didn't know how well the appraisal was going to do. So we weren't sure if everything was going to fall through. So we didn't actually own the home yet. We still, had to close on it, but they let us have early occupancy in the home, which again, what a miracle. It was a God thing that the previous owners let us have early occupancy. So we were living in this home, not sure if we were actually going to get it, if the sale was going to actually go through and everything. Oh my gosh, it was so stressful. And then we had a huge water leak in the home that wasn't even ours yet. There was a pipe that busted in our first couple weeks there, and we had literal flood. It was a flood. It was pouring down the driveway. Neighbors were coming out of their house saying, oh my gosh, because there's like water rushing out of this house. And so that was another nightmare because it was like, whose responsibility was that going to be to fix? The pipe was obviously broken before we got there. The appraisal didn't go through well. So we weren't sure if we were actually going to get the home until up to a couple days before the sale actually went through. So that for about a month, we didn't know if we were going to be homeless or not. It's not the first time that's happened to us. Just one thing after another. But it was very stressful, and I was dealing with health issues through it. And like I said, I was not doing well at trusting God through it. So for about 5 months after that, I want to say the whole winter, it was just stressful. Because you don't come out of something like that. You don't reach a point of being so stressed out and then just walk out of it. When you become that stressed out, it takes time to decompress and de-stress. And it did. After all that we had been through in the Midwest, after all we had been through with our move, the day that I finally decompressed was the first day I brought my kids to this river. Everybody needs something that they can touch, that they can feel, and de-stress with.
There's a channel called Therapy in a Nutshell. In it, the therapist talks about how if you approach anxiety through your 5 senses, it can help to de-stress. So you want to find something you can feel, something you can smell, something you can see. And if you can just ground yourself through those 5 senses, it really helps to decompress. Something one of my aunts taught me is that when you're worried, when you're stressed, when you're heartbroken over something, never underestimate the power of repeatedly, if you need to, taking it to God in prayer.